Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Culz Interviews, episode 53. Today, we're going to be diving into a couple of our favorite topics, one of which is filmmaking, and we're going to be talking to a filmmaking group here. And I will let them introduce themselves because obviously they know themselves better than I do. So, who wants to start first?
Sure, I'll go ahead and jump in. My name's Ian Sim. I'll be directing a short film with this amazing, talented crew leading us into the Bone Rush.
I'll go next. I am Brianne Nicole Wilson, and I am co-producing and co-writing Bone Rush, the short film we are working on.
My name is Cooper Knight. I am the creative artist that gave birth, basically, to the idea of Bone Rush.
And I'll go last. My name is Jacob Kinnick. I am the co-producer and co-writer also for Bone Rush, and I'm a Colorado filmmaker, as we all are.
No, that's awesome. We love supporting, because we're all from Colorado as well, so we love supporting our local Coloradans. We've done a couple of these, so it's really exciting. We've been following your group for a while. Do you want to tell everyone who hasn't heard of Leaky Skylight Pictures what you guys do? And you've won some awards too, so if you want to talk about that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So Leaky Skylight Pictures, I founded it in 2021, and I got all these guys involved over time, and we do pretty much everything together now. It's really awesome. We are a filmmaking company. Our first project was called Iridium Springs. It's a post-apocalyptic comedy pilot, and that was shot in 2021, finished in 2022, and it did pretty well on the film festival circuit and won some awards. Right now, it's my short film Office Chatter, which is on the film festival circuit right now as well. We shot it last year, and it's still in the circuit. It's been winning lots of awards and getting into festivals. It's in its 21st festival, I believe, right now. There's one in Connecticut called the Ewell Film Festival. That's its most recent one. And the Vesuvius Film Awards over in Italy. That's also very recent as well. And then right now it's Bone Rush. We're super excited. We've been working on Bone Rush for almost a full year. And we're really thrilled that it's finally at the point that it is in this crowdfunding campaign. Our goal is to start production in January and February.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm trying to think. I first saw some of the hints because you guys were at the Morrison Museum, which is a museum we've been to quite often. It's one of our favorites.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how did you come up with this idea? Like, is it Bone Wars inspired? Because obviously that's a big historical event, was the Bone Wars with Neil Charles Marsh and stuff.
Half of it was actually based off of Bone Wars. That whole decade. That whole few decades where basically Edward Drinker Cope and Nathaniel Charles Marsh were fighting each other over who could lay claim to the most bones. And that kind of spiraled into thinking, well, we have a bunch of stories about dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures, but we don't have many paleontologist stories. So that's another piece of the puzzle. Most of it just came out of a brainstorm that Ian Sim and I had back in Thanksgiving/Christmas 2023.
Exactly, Coop. We had been, talking about it, and of course, there's so many different stories, films that cover dinosaurs in various ways, and so we wanted to, approach it in a different way. And Coop and I got to talking, and there's so much fascinating history that we wanted to kind of mold it, and kind of the premise essentially became, imagine American West, 1875. We have a young, determined blacksmith who suddenly finds himself having to risk everything to recover some stolen fossils that will then, in turn, save his family's legacy and be able to redeem himself in a very certain way. And at the same time, it's happening during the most ruthless rivalries in history.
Well, and it's a pretty Colorado-centric story as far as like the actual Bone Wars. A big part of it was in Garden Park Fossil area down in Canyon City, which is super, super cool. Are you guys planning to shoot on any of these like famous locations as well?
Yeah, a good portion of the story actually takes place in Canyon City. And I have a close relationship with that city because my father grew up there, and so did like all of my uncles and aunts and my grandma. So like, it'd be really cool, and it is a goal of ours to film down there because we really, really want to.
All right, off topic, but how long have they been down there for?
Oh, forever.
Okay, yeah,
They,
because
they
my great grandfather's family's from there.
oh, that's cool. That our families probably know each other by some way.
Yeah, if you go to the prison museum there, you'll actually see my great great grandfather's name. He was a prison guard during the 1929 prison riot, and there's a picture of
Sick.
him that we donated there because he was one of the couple, I think it was 8 guards that died during there, but he was the one that stopped him. But
Wow.
his son is the one that helped with the Stegosaurus in the Denver Museum by Kessler.
That is so cool.
Oh, no
That's
way.
awesome. I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, my great grandfather, I believe, or one after that, started the first saloon in Canyon City. Like he was the first person to run one there, which I think is so cool.
No, that's awesome. So yeah, Bone Rush. How did you guys come about like the characters? Was there any like specific archetypes or anything that you wanted to cover? Or was it completely new? Like where did you get inspired from, I guess?
Initially, I think we were inventing these characters from scratch as we went ahead, and then we also took some inspiration from what was happening during the days of the Bone Wars. Things like, what were teenagers doing back in those days? How did people provide for the family and things of that nature? What was criminal activity looking like?
Exactly. And Coop and I, we got to talking, and of course, we really want to make it true to the real life clash that did happen between these two rival paleontologists, driven by ambition and trying to sabotage one another, and also draw from some inspiration such as Indiana Jones and adventures like that, and be able to tie it in with a little bit of the Western, style, the good, the bad, the ugly, and some of those Westerns at the same time.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's a really good idea. And I like how you are doing more of a character study, I guess, of paleontology as well. How early on in the process did you guys want to focus on that portion?
Something I will say personally, it drew me, right in. And when Coop and I got to talking about it, getting more and more into like the dangerous cutthroat world, we were like, oh man, there's absolutely a ton of story and characters, and super fascinated by how these fossil hunters would go to such extreme lengths, to to make these discoveries, even if it meant blowing up the other dig site.
Yeah, they literally use dynamite. Like it's so good.
And
Yeah,
don't
who
want
said
to
paleontology wasn't exciting, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Right, absolutely.
We wanted to incorporate some other aspects of history at the time as well, just to not only set the scene, but also just to provide those tendrils in the story. One example is our character Bessie. She works for the Pony Express. So that was something that we wanted to include just to layer up the story and provide a better picture of the time period too.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's always good with the world building, and especially there's younger audiences that you'll say this is how things worked, and they're like, "What? Like we didn't always have computers?" So no, that's great. As far as like costume designing and stuff, like how are you all going about that? Like, do you have a person that's designing them and helping you, or are you guys designing them yourselves?
We're drawing inspiration from what was being worn back in the 1870s, what kinds of clothes people wore. And to answer your question, we also have a costume designer, which we're really cool friends with.
Exactly. It's super important, because big pieces, we really do want to transport the audience, back to the late 1800s. And so that will involve, definitely having some costumes, but also set pieces. We really want to take some time and make sure we design those. So every detail really will matter when it comes to capturing the spirit of that era.
We really wanted to incorporate miniatures into this, especially background and foreground, to make it kind of like an homage to like 1920s action adventure films.
We're all film history buffs here.
Hey, I can talk film history all day if you guys want. Like, I love that stuff.
Heck yeah.
Well, and too, Keegan, like you were saying, also just Canyon City, we're really wanting to push for these fantastic locations that are going to really take us back to that time and make it authentic. I'm also trying to reach out to some contacts about some getting access to some old mining claims. So that way we do have locations that really do feel like a dig site.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so with the Morrison Museum, are they helping you guys with this project as well?
They are, yeah. They've helped us like with our pitch a lot of things. They've also helped us with a lot of like historical aspects, information. Their director is an expert on the Bone Wars, so we've kind of picked his brain a little bit, which has been really, really fun. And they are also going to be one of our locations for the final film. We have one scene that we're going to be shooting there. We're super excited. But man, the Morrison Museum has been fantastic. They've been so helpful. We absolutely love them over there.
Yeah, they've been so supportive, so helpful, and like honestly, such a great organization. And like everyone watching this, you need to go there and also buy their merch because their merch is super cool. But I love that place. Like, bless them, they're awesome.
I felt like I was in heaven going into the Morrison Natural History Museum. Even though it was like a small building, it still felt like heaven to me just because of so many dinosaur skeletons, like left and right.
Yeah, no, I like it. My wallet doesn't like that museum, but
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam knows. We did a hike because there's what's that park right there with the castle ruins
Yeah.
and the White House. There's the abandoned White House project. So we hiked there and we're like, oh, let's stop in. I spent way too much money.
Ain't that just the way?
Right. Well, you were talking about set pieces. Who's in charge of like building those?
Yeah, I have a connection. She is, her name's Lakaya. She's going to be working on that. And I also met a few other people that have made miniatures in the past. And Brianne and I want to incorporate miniatures in our first project, Iridium Springs, and now we actually get the chance. So we're excited.
Like a dream come true.
Yeah, no, I love it. Ian, you were talking about directing. What's your directing style? Like, is there a director that you have really grown up to appreciate and have maybe modeled yourself after?
I definitely like to kind of approach. I've worked a lot of documentaries, and so I kind of sometimes like to approach that in a more laissez-faire kind of observationalist approach. But with this in particular, we are really trying to be more thorough with the pre-production and take a little more diligence and time. So that way it's of course going to all come together. But in terms of, I guess, role models, always appreciated Scorsese's work. I will say he does a great job being able to plant plot points along the way and thread those in a way that it creates a thrilling narrative overall, of course. And so that's something really am looking to apply here in that sense. And, so that way watchers will really be able to have a chance to get invested and then have a chance to be surprised in the end is really what we're looking for. And I don't want to give away too much here. I know we're still in the early stages, but Jacob and Briam have done a great job with our third act right now, piecing that together. So again, there's going to be a lot of really cool also nods and Easter eggs to the actual Bone Wars. So if you're a fan of that, please check it out. You'll have to wait until it does come out, but definitely we are trying to plant those seeds at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love some good Easter eggs. Well, tell us a little bit more about like as far as like how many people are working on this project total, because obviously we'll see the final project, but there's a lot of people that go into it as a whole.
That's too true. Already in our pitch video, we had a team of close to 10 people already, and like you said, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that happens that people often don't realize, and yet it is so integral to every piece of production.
Yeah, no, it's amazing all the different processes. My cousin Marika actually went to NYU for film, and teaches classes about color now. And it's amazing that there's just like a whole group just for the color of the film and what you feel. As far as like music and composing, like how are you guys approaching that? Are you guys doing like
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You raised your hand, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was excited.
You knew where I was going with it.
One of my good friends of mine, he's the lead singer of a Boulder band called Curb Surfers. And for his solo stuff, he basically uses like kind of more of a Western style. And so I hit him up, and we started collaborating on it. And he will be making a few songs for it. One element I really enjoyed with it, each main character will have their own theme of like throughout the songs. And it's been really cool to like, give different styles and characteristics to each character's tone. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's fun that you all are incorporating a bunch of other people too from Colorado, and I'd love to see that. As far as like maybe all your journeys into film, what was the film that got you hooked? It's okay if you say a Fellini film. I'll be okay with that.
For me, I would have to say Little Miss Sunshine. That was the film I was like, yep, I want to make something like that. Yep.
I think for me personally, it was the first Pirates of the Caribbean. It was kind of my first time. I saw it when I was like 9 or 10. And I was just totally obsessed. I was like, oh, I love this. This is the coolest thing ever. And the more I would watch like behind the scenes videos and stuff. And the more I watched, the more I was like, oh, wow, this is an actual industry. This is a career path. And my mom has always been a huge cinephile. So from there, she was like, oh, well, let me show you this. This is Casablanca. Let me show you this. It's James Bond. Let me show you this. It's Alfred Hitchcock, And that's, I think, my personal starting point.
Personal starting point for me, the first Jurassic Park, tried and true. The dinosaur is like the dead giveaway.
No, certainly iconic. Looking back at myself, we kind of grew up, would put on a lot of different Twilight Zone, actually, would kind of be the reoccurring show, and kind of similar. My mom would have that going on. And I just definitely keyed in on, and just such strong storytelling. Rod Serling is incredible. And then it just only grew from there. Of course, love going to the movies. Especially as a kid growing up, like the midnight premieres, was it Harry Potter, different things like that.
I camped out for that. I was the first person in line. I camped out. It was so fun.
Certain special moments like that with friends, it really did create an experience that I was just like, yes, I'm absolutely, of course, not only wanting to go, but of course I want to participate, but I want to make this, and so that's what drew me into, production. Yeah, no, Twilight Zone's a fun one. We had a Twilight Zone historian on not too long ago, and I was telling the others that we're going to do an episode about Annabelle, and how I'm pretty sure they just ripped off the backstory for Annabelle from a Twilight Zone episode. Even the name is from the talking doll. And there's so many, I feel like, different movies and I'm sure shows that are inspired or like literally, rip straight from Twilight Zone. Yeah, well, and Rod Serling is the reason we have the Statue of Liberty portion of Planet of the Apes. He wrote that part. Otherwise, it would have been Tim Burton's version because that's how the book is. But it's brilliance, though, or certain things, absolutely appreciate it. Well, and then so this one's about dinosaurs and Bone Wars. What drew you to that? Outside maybe the history, do you guys love dinosaurs? Is it history, or is it just telling a new story?
For me, I would say it's a Colorado story, and it's really important for me to tell those stories because a big part of Brienne's company and the one I'm a part of, Leaky Skylight, is we want to make film happen in Colorado. We literally have every single landscape except the ocean. And I have a lot of faith in Colorado. We've really grown in the last few years, and it's really important for our company to tell Colorado stories and film in Colorado.
It's true. I'm also personally quite the dinosaur fan. So when
Me
Cooper
too.
and Ian, yes, when Cooper and Ian first pitched the idea to me, I was like, oh, shut up and take my money. Yes, I love it. So I was just thrilled, and I was so excited to get this rolling and tell the story. But yeah, I was the dinosaur kid growing up. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a little kid. I am now a filmmaker. That is not the same. Go figure. But yeah, I really just fell in love with the whole concept.
Well, that makes two of us. But mostly
Absolutely.
drawing dinosaurs for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I would bring a Jurassic Park 3 toy to me to daycare every single day. Like, love dinosaurs. Always have.
No, and, of course, they're extremely fascinating. And the more and the more we all got to talking about this, it just really became apparent. And it's something I feel strongly about, is this is a story, also about perseverance and discovery. And on so many levels, we're exploring characters, and how far they will go to protect what they love. And, in those extreme odds, even when it seems impossible. And so I think that's something special too that I didn't want to lose sight of here. And especially then, like these guys are saying, it's a local Colorado story, which is so cool at the same time.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Sam can probably back this up, but my room is like full, like a miniature museum. So I can understand the love of dinosaurs.
Museum, Blockbuster, library.
Yeah, just all the above. Well, and you were talking about a little bit of Indiana Jones, like flair being thrown in there. You guys gonna have any like lost treasures? Because there's a lot of like lost diggings in the West where they'd find gold or like, artifacts from other cultures. You guys gonna like sprinkle that in as well, perhaps?
We are working a little bit of that in, some different fun, of course, not only historical Easter eggs, but stuff that could potentially connect into this universe that Cooper's trying to build out. That's going to definitely evolve. But right now, of course, we're focusing in on this first step. But that is certainly a goal, as we want to start planting those seeds as well. And then see, where we can take it. Because, again, I feel this is, if you love historical mysteries, Westerns, or just old-fashioned adventures, this will be a short film for you, and we are trying to pack in that suspense, incredible characters, and just old school cinematic magic that Indiana Jones did so well at capturing.
And as far as on like a writing standpoint, like, we want people to have fun. Like, we want it to be entertaining. And there are some parts that you're just like, oh, but we also wanted to make it really brutal, like a Western should be. Western's about survival in the Wild West. Like, they are not happy-go-lucky, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to have, stunts. So we have to get a stunt coordinator and all that jazz. But we want to make it kind of have that fun adventure spirit.
Well, and see, audience, when we tell you where you guys can go help support them, you got to go, because like Westerns, history, dinosaurs, like the top 3 topics you guys watch on our channel. So please go support them. As far as casting is going, like, are you fully casted? Or are you guys going to have to do more casting? How's that working out?
So currently the script is in a great place. Jacob, Brienne have been dialing that in. It's lean, exciting, full of tension and suspense. And so we are gearing up right now. This is the point where we are starting to cast actually soon. And it's thrilling, thinking about bringing these characters to life.
Yeah, we have a couple actors in mind, but primarily we'll be casting pretty much for the whole thing. But we have an idea of our mains, at least.
Very cool. You guys gonna be holding like auditions anywhere in particular for actors to go or look up?
We are. It will be kind of an open call. We're going to send it out to the people on our mailing list first, and then we will kind of publicly announce it on our socials. But yeah, it will be an open call. I believe we're going to do it in person. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
Indeed. Yes. And so like Jacob's saying, is we definitely have some in mind, but we are looking for actors who really do embody that relentless Wild West spirit.
Where did you guys all go to, like, film school or all that stuff? Like, where did you guys go to get that education for anyone that's maybe wanting to grow up and go down that path as well?
We actually all graduated from CU Denver. We were all in the same graduating class, which was really cool. That's how we all met each other.
And it started to rain on us before we could get our diplomas.
It sure did.
Where was this held as far as getting the diplomas? Was it at the school or did they rent out
It
a
was on
venue?
the Aurora. No, it was at the Aurora campus, and it was outside, and it started to thunder.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're done."
We were literally walking to it, and they're like, "No,
Get out of here.
yeah."
Matt, what about you?
No, just kind of along the same questions. Like maybe is there a certain, we talked movies like actor or actress that highlight who you embody or want to be like someday, whether it's like a really funny guy, a more serious person, just like who did you fall in love with that brought out the acting side of you?
For me personally, I have multiple. I would say my first like major celebrity crush, Tom Hollander. I think he's very, very talented. I was deeply in love with him for a long time. And I think he's very funny too. He can be both dramatic and funny, and that inspired me really early on in my career when I was just a theater kid in school, And from there, I was discovering lots of actors. I love British TV, so I kind of gravitated towards those actors. Dame Maggie Smith, Judi Dench. I would say they're big inspirations for me personally. I love their careers. I love how dynamic they are. And they're so powerful and they're so versatile. I would say they've been a big inspiration for my personal acting journey.
One for me that first comes to my mind is Humphrey Bogart. I mean, just the range that man had is just like he could be like the toughest guy ever. And in the next scene, he's just like a sweet little dove. Like he really had it, and he was a genius.
Does voice acting count? Because
Yeah.
there's like a whole list of voice actors that have done DreamWorks animation projects in the past and present that I really gravitate towards. There's like a whole library, and it's tough to pick one specifically to look up to.
It's tough. But in terms of actors, I've always appreciated Tom Hanks. I just feel, any role he takes on, he really embodies or really goes after it and will delve into it and in so many ways. And I really have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, it's always fun to see who everyone relates to. I mean, on this channel, I've said it a gazillion times. James Dean, a huge fan of for myself. And I don't know, these guys might describe me more as like a Chris Pratt character just because I'm always like listening to music and joking and not being super serious. But I've grown an appreciation for Ethan Hawke lately. He's been in a lot of films that I've really enjoyed. So it's always fun. How can people help you out and raise some money to get this project underway?
Please follow us on Seed and Spark. And if you have the money and you're willing to spend, please donate to us. Every dollar counts, and please. And the more people that follow us on Seed and Spark, Bone Rush on Seed and Spark, the more incentives we get from that company. So yeah, that's how you can do that. And spread the word. Please spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Another thing about Seed and Spark, so we are currently at 60% of our goal. We have to get to 80, which is $8,000 in order to keep one penny, any of it. So that is our big goal. We have to reach 80, and then we can reach our ultimate $10,000 goal. So please help us, guys. We want to keep this, and we want to make this on schedule for us.
I will say we're blown away by the passion already of our supporters for this indie filmmaking, and it's been inspiring, and just the response is so incredible. We're super appreciative, and people are really connecting with the story. But now with just 14 days left, we really are rallying hard, so that way we hit that 80% mark and beyond.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Only 14 days until the Bone Rush crowdfund campaign on Seed and Spark is extinct.
So share wherever you can.
We really appreciate it. And even if you can't contribute financially, just getting the word out there and really helps support us on Spark. And that way we can make this film happen together.
Yeah, no, we'll make sure to share it around. And I would say this era that we're living in is like the golden era of independent films. And perhaps YouTube really opened the boundaries for that because there's so many more people going independent versus like going for the big studios. Like, have you guys seen a switch in that as well?
We have, yeah. There's been a huge increase that we've seen in independent filmmaking, not only in Colorado, but really nationwide.
And like people are just tired of the same stories being told, and especially remakes and sequels, and people want original content, and independent film will do that. And it has always done that. Like, and it's going really, really strong. Where I feel very fortunate to be part of it.
Is already taken off, and like you said, I feel YouTube just opened the gates wide open, and now anybody can even just pick up their phone and start to really put together a at least little concept, and then now with Seed and Spark and all these other crowdfunding campaigns, it's just amazing what you can get a green light on now.
And the incredible thing is that some of these independent short films and feature-length films that are coming out, they're already getting spotlights on, say, Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, Premium, and Apple TV. So we don't even have to go to the box office in order to see a really good movie. I mean, we can, but these streaming platforms make things a lot more convenient.
Well, and I've seen more and more independent filmmakers as well get like really cool like opening debuts at different like theaters, especially here in Colorado. We're friends with the group that put together Ghostbusters Open for Business, and that got a really big opening. And it's just so cool to see that people are so supportive of this, just this field that we all love so much. Well, outside of Bone Rush, what are some other ideas and projects that you guys really hope to put together at some point?
Well, I've personally been working on a series for a very long time, and I'm really hoping to get the pilot together next year. It's called Shenanigans, and it's a story of a college student who gets her first kind of big job at a retirement home. And she thinks it's going to be, just something really good for her resume, but kind of a regular job. It's anything but. And not only is it lots of shenanigans, but she also befriends the residents, and it helps her ultimately grow as a person and enjoy these friendships and move on with her life in lots of different ways without revealing anything. But that's my personal next big project that I would like to get together next year. I'm also helping produce a feature next year called Serona 2, Valkyrie Shadow. We just wrapped up a crowdfunding thing for that too quite recently, and that'll be another project for next summer.
For me, I'm in the process of finishing this script for my first feature that I want to direct. And it's a dance movie. But the music's all electro swing, and it's going to be about the swing dancing scene in Denver. But it follows a young man going through some problems who like heals himself also with his community in swing dance, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
What I'm working on currently is a novel.
So why don't you tell us about the novel you're working on?
What if in the early 1940s, this young adult woman realized she needed self-confidence in order to stop her manager weaponizing live dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures for Hitler's army? This novel's been like a couple years in the making. It started out as a screenplay, and then somewhere along the way, I was like, you know what? What if I just make this a novel adaptation? What if this was a novel adaptation as well as a screenplay?
I don't know if you've picked out what to look for, but I know like Ernst Stromer, he had a bunch of pretty cool specimens in the Berlin Museum there. Unfortunately, they all got bombed. So, I mean, you could always tie that in, like maybe the bombing was on purpose. It's kind of a fun little nod you could put in there.
Ooh.
Okay.
But his expeditions into the Sahara gave us like Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. So a bunch of these like big dinosaurs you could use,
Oh, yeah. That's definitely noteworthy.
And it kind of ties in directly to Bone Rush at the same time, right? And again, can potentially expand on the universe, I guess, is what we're looking to get towards.
Yeah, which is awesome. Obviously, like interconnected universes right now are big, so people really appreciate that. As long as you do it right, right?
Yeah.
The key right now, and of course focusing in on this first iteration of it, and that's where I guess right now a lot of my efforts are going. I'm pretty much all in right now on Bone Rush. We'll see with the summer where that takes me. You know, balancing a couple other documentary series and different things, but still really want to continue working local projects here. Of course, Leaky Skylight has got such a great momentum going right now with their festivals, and so that'll be another piece to it. Is of course the distribution side of things. Like Coop mentioned, there's a lot of streaming platforms, you know, that's taking off, and so we'll want to look at that as well as the festival circuit at the same time.
Well, and like for any of the viewers that don't know, like the festivals and how they work, do you guys want to talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in on this. So the film festivals, I find all the film festivals we submit to on Film Freeway, that's all they do is just film festival listings that you submit for. And what you do is you upload your film, the files, a synopsis, everything that you need really about it. And then you submit to all these different festivals. They each require a fee. They're very rarely free, but you pay the fee and then you wait for a little while. And then sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't. Sometimes maybe you're a finalist or an award winner. It's kind of a waiting game, a little bit of a gamble, but it is really exciting and a lot of fun. We've found a lot of really cool film festivals, lots of hidden gems too. One of my personal favorites is the Breckenridge Film Festival here in Colorado. Me and Jacob were just there for Office Chatter. It was so much fun. Really, really great festival, really well run, awesome people. And then also the 307 Film Festival up in Laramie, Wyoming, which is my mom's hometown. That was a lot of fun too. We were there for Iridium Springs last summer. And again, another really great festival, really well run, great staff, great film selection.
It's intimate, you know. Yeah, it was intimate as well. One I would like to say that was really wonderful was Pueblo Film Festival.
Yes.
Yeah, we went. Brianne and I went to the inaugural year, and it was something else. It was like a mic drop, being like that side of our Colorado, being like, no, we're a film setting now, it was really cool.
I think they're going to be very big very soon.
Yeah, Pueblo's done a lot of facelifting and changing of the atmosphere down there, especially around that Riverwalk area. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool little restaurants and stuff. Yeah, no, Laramie, that's pretty cool. You guys plan to do anything up there as well, like film-wise, perhaps?
We want to. We're kind of considering it. My mom's best friend lives up there. We've got a lot of connections up there. So it is something that we've been kind of talking about and mulling around. What can we do?
Yeah, no, it's a fun little town. Me and Matt usually go for the homecoming game up there. So
nice.
Yeah, go Pokes,
awesome.
Right?
Heck yeah.
Wherever Matt's at. Well, we've mentioned the name Office Chatter a couple times. Do you want to tell the viewers what that is and where they can find that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Office Chatter is my recent short film. We filmed it last year, finished it, and premiered it this March. It's not currently on anything right now. It's in the festival circuit, but it will be available both online and I'm hoping for also some distribution as well. But it's a short comedy about 4 coworkers right before their morning meeting. And it's really what's going on inside their heads. They're all very, very different and they're all going through some sort of mental kind of spiral crisis, you know, whatever it is. One of them's lonely, one's insecure, one's just bored. It's a whole thing, but we had a blast making it and I'm really thrilled with how it's been doing in the festival circuit so far. And I'm glad that people are enjoying it.
Well, and then to Bone Rush, what do you hope people, outside of obviously it getting the funding, what do you hope people take away from it when they leave, you know, when they see it and they leave it? what do you hope they're thinking about?
Thinking about persevering, even when the situation gets really tough for them.
I want them to have fun and them to be like, that was worth it. I want them to be entertained.
Some of the most important things we're trying to balance, like Jacob's saying, is of course there's going to be some intensity and suspense to the story, but still having some of that humor, and lighthearted levity to be able to bring to some of those. And I think again, call back to Indiana Jones does a good job with some of those moments, to be able to lighten it up a little bit. And I think ultimately walking away, it would be great if just they felt a little bit of the impact of discovery. There is that little bit of moment of like, oh, something new, and so you feel audience will feel walking away like they did find something fresh after this watch, so that's the real goal, and putting it together. Brianne, anything?
I agree with all of that. I would also like them to get curious. I want them to see these little bits of history that we've included and say, oh, what is that? Is that real? And look into it and discover some new things for themselves too.
One kind of final off the beat question. If the viewers need something to watch, what's kind of a hidden gem for each of you that you would recommend the viewers to watch?
That's such a hard one. A good winter zombie film, Pontypool, came to my mind. It's about a radio host that zombie apocalypse happens around him, and you just hear it the entire time as he's hosting a radio show. It's incredible. It's a really good hidden gem.
I want to say Ted Lasso if you're looking for a good heartfelt series to watch. It's on Apple TV Plus.
I would say, I've always been into classic cinema, especially because of my mom. And if you're into classic horror, I would recommend The Carnival of Souls. It's black and white. It was made a very long time ago, but I found it genuinely scary. I think it's kind of a hidden gem horror movie.
Some good recs, and I'm actually writing them down now too. Getting after it, love it. But recently just watched Colin Farrell in Penguin, and I thought that was outstanding. And for more of like, I was surprised my brother hadn't seen this. In Bruges. Is kind of my hidden gem that, like, it's been a while since I've seen, I admit, but so good. Oh man. And my brother hadn't seen, so I was like, absolutely, you got to go watch tonight. So please, I would recommend checking it out.
Yeah, no, In Bruges, that's great. It's one of we do top 20 lists, and that made my top 20. I love that film. And you mentioned Carnival of Souls too. It's on the Criterion Collection, which we always rep. So if you guys need a good print, Criterion. It's November, go buy it 50% off.
Excellent. I do every year.
I might be stopping there tomorrow. I don't know. We are at the point of the interview, though. If you guys want to, what was that? Actually, we'll probably be doing Doc Holiday stuff tomorrow. We're at the point of the interview to let the viewers know where to find you guys. So if you have past projects you want to talk about, obviously the Bone Rush and the fundraiser, feel free. It's your platform right now.
Well, one really good way to connect with us is on the Leaky Skylight Pictures Instagram. It's just at Leaky Skylight Pictures. We post all of our film stuff there. I try to keep it as up to date as we can. But yeah, that's a good way to connect with us. We are on Facebook too. Our past projects include, of course, Office Chatter and also Iridium Springs, which we made with Mike Rosenberg and Jeremy Anderson with Spooky Night Pictures. That's their company. And that is on YouTube right now. And Office Chatter will be probably late next year. You can check those out there.
Oh, awesome. Thank you all for taking your Friday night and joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll make sure to be promoting it as much as we can wherever we can. So we'll do our best to try to help you guys get that mark, and hopefully sooner rather than later, for sure.
Thank you so much. We have loved being on here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, we appreciate it. We love it.
Yeah, not a problem.
Super, super grateful. And man, indie filmmaking is all about the hustle and, finding these creative solutions and connections. And so thank you. We're super grateful and really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to have you back on once it gets made because I have faith it will. You guys are getting there really quickly, so I have plenty of faith you guys will reach your mark. But once it comes out and let us know where we can see it and we'll go watch it and we can have you guys back on and we can talk about it more properly.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So once again, we want to say thank you to everyone involved in Leaky Skylight Pictures and everyone that joined us today. This was a fantastic interview. And hey, make sure to go check them out. And definitely make sure to go help support their Bone Rush fundraiser. We'll put all the links in the description below. But yeah, until next time, guys, for more Culz interviews, including the one about old timer radio, click that link to your left. For more about us here at Culz Paranormal, including why marking Stinking Springs in Fort Sumner was important, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know, what was your favorite part of the interview, and have you seen any of Leaky Skylight Pictures' previous films? Tell us in the comments below.